Hari Om. Welcome back to Storytime with Gitanjali. We have so far heard of many stories of devotees and the glories of the Lord. But just imagine, what if the Lord Himself was your friend? Well, today's story is a very famous story of Krishna and his friend Sudama. And though it is well known, the stories of the Lord can be heard again and again. And so, let us see what Sudama or Kuchela, as he was also known as, see in Krishna as his friend. Now, Sudama and Krishna had studied together when they were little, and they were residents of the Gurukula of the great Rishi Sandipani. And there, as fellow students, they had grown very close to each other. But after their education, they never could meet again for a very long time. And so it was that Krishna lived in Dwaraka amidst all the riches and glory that a lord would obviously have, while Sudama lived in abject poverty. He was so poor that he wore tattered clothes, and his children and his wife had to often starve or go door to door for charity. And Sudama's wife would always plead with him, "Oh Sudama, you have often told me about how wealthy and rich your friend Krishna is. Why don't you go to him and ask for some help?" And Sudama, though he was poor, he was a great jnani or a realized person, because he would always dwell in the thoughts of the Lord and remain content even in that state of poverty. So he never craved for anything, and he thought that this is all my karma phala or my destiny, the fruits of my action in the past. So why should I go and approach anybody for help? And so he kept explaining and reasoning with his wife. But his wife told him, "When you go and ask your own brother for help, can it be called begging? And you say that your friend Krishna is very compassionate and understanding, so he would not mind if you would go and approach him for help. And if not for you, if not for me, at least for our children's sake, please see, they are starving. Please, please heed my words and go and approach Lord Krishna." Now Sudama thought to himself. He said, "Even if I don't crave for anything, I do crave for a glimpse of my dear friend Krishna. And so for that alone, I shall go to Dwaraka." But can anybody visit a friend empty-handed? And so his wife went to their neighbors and borrowed just a handful of flattened rice, or poha as we know it. And so, wrapping the poha in a small cloth bundle, Sudama set off for Dwaraka. All along the way, Sudama was lost in his thoughts. He just chanted the name of the Lord, "Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya." And he kept remembering those golden moments of his childhood when he has spent his days with Krishna. And soon he reached Dwaraka. Dwaraka was so amazing and enchanting. He saw majestic palaces and he was lost. Suddenly, at the gate of a beautiful palace, Lord Krishna saw from afar. He saw that his friend Sudama had come to his gates, and he rushed forward to greet him. But meanwhile, Sudama was a bit anxious. He wondered, will my friend recognize me now? Looking at all the riches here, I feel that Krishna must be living amidst his equals. How can he recognize me, one so far below him in all aspects? But if I say that Krishna is my friend and somebody just laughs and ridicules me, how will I face that insult? But no, I must catch a glimpse of my dear friend. Maybe I will be insulted, maybe I will be shamed, but it is all right just to be near my friend and see him once more. With these thoughts, Sudama waited at the door. And what did he see? Krishna rushing out to hug him and embrace him and take him inside. With great respect, Lord Krishna made Sudama sit on the very seat on which he had been sitting and lovingly washed Sudama's feet with water because Sudama had travelled from so far and was very tired. He called out to Rukmini and asked her to get some refreshments. Now everybody around was wondering, who is this ragged poor Brahmin who is receiving so much attention from our great Lord? But Rukmini knew, and so Rukmini went inside and on a golden platter brought fruits and on jeweled cups brought water and other refreshments. And Krishna lovingly with his own hands offered this food to Sudama and inquired about Sudama, his family, his well-being. All the wives of Krishna stood there and Rukmini herself took the chamara or the fan and fanned this esteemed guest. And Krishna was so overjoyed at having seen Sudama, he asked him, "Tell me, you must be married by now?" And Sudama said, "Yes." "Oh, if yes, then please tell me, what has my sister-in-law sent for me? She would not have sent you empty-handed." Now Sudama was suddenly feeling a bit shy because all he had was that small bundle of poha, and here he had seen luxuries never seen before. How could he offer Krishna that little bundle of poha when Lord Krishna had everything? And so Sudama shyly said, No, I have not brought anything." And Krishna said, "You are lying. I'm sure you would have brought something for me. Come, show me." And so Krishna just tried to search for that bundle which he already knew that Sudama had with him. And so Sudama then shyly showed that small cloth bundle of poha. Looking at that, Krishna exclaimed, "Only a true friend would have known this is my favorite food item." And so he just took that fistful of poha and gulped it hungrily and exclaimed, "It is so delicious, so tasty. I am so happy and satisfied and content." As he was about to take more of the poha, Rukmini said, "Oh Krishna, won't you leave something for us? Would you finish off everything of this?" Because, as Rukmini whispered, "You have already taken away the tamas and the rajas in Sudama's life. If you eat any more, you will also remove the sattva from his life. Stop. He has already got enough for this life and more." Sudama did not know any of this. He just watched. He was overwhelmed. He could not believe his eyes that his childhood friend Krishna had not forgotten him. And as he watched, Krishna lovingly offered Sudama a bed to rest for the night. And in that luxurious bed, Sudama spent the night just thinking of how lucky he was at having this great golden friendship. And the next day, it was time for Sudama to return home. And as they bid goodbye, Sudama did not even ask Krishna for that very thing that he had come to Dwaraka. He thought, "I have got the darshan of the Lord himself. What more do I desire? What is in my destiny shall remain so. Let me just cherish these treasured moments and return home." And Krishna too quietly did not reveal what was in store for Sudama and bid a fond goodbye. As Sudama walked back towards his house, he only was thinking about those precious moments spent together. He had forgotten the very reason for which he had gone there, and as he traced his steps towards his house, he was suddenly lost because in front of him, where stood an old thatched hut, now was a huge mansion with gardens and ponds and fountains and so many servants attending to the various activities there. And from within that mansion came a lady who was dressed in silk and gold, but whom he could not recognize. And so he asked her, "There used to be a hut here. Where is it now?" And that lady laughed at him and pulled his hand and told him, "Don't you recognize me? I'm your wife and these are your children, wearing all golden robes and dressed in fine jewels and looking so rich." Now, Sudama did not understand anything. But his wife said, "Your friend Krishna must have done this. You had gone there to ask for just this, don't you remember?" And Sudama understood. Without even having to ask anything, the Lord always blesses. Why should one ask when the Lord can see, hear, and understand everything? If you are lost in the Lord's devotion, then the Lord shall take care of all of one's needs and wants. Now, Sudama knew that Krishna had blessed him and his family. But he also knew that he ought to remain living the life as he lived before. So untouched by the riches, untouched by all the pleasures, Sudama and his wife continued living their lives lost in devotion to the Lord until one day they merged with him. This is the story of the great friendship of Krishna and Sudama. In childhood, in the Gurukula, they were equals. In adulthood, they were far apart, but yet remained connected because of that golden thread of friendship. May we pray that we also are blessed with this kind of relationship with the Lord of Lords. If you like today's story, do share it with your friends and ask them to join us on this journey of story narration week after week. Until we meet again, Hari Om.